Hi there. Glad you could make it. We were experiencing some high-tech situations, so I'm glad that I think I'm online. Anyway, I hope I am. At any rate, tonight we're presenting the monthly ASTRO news for May. It's been a wild one. Really wild this last couple weeks because we're entering into a Mercury retrograde. So there's going to be a lot of technical difficulties as we go on into the month. So this is going to be a big month, and we have a lot. We don't have a whole lot going on, but what we do have is very powerful. So let's take a look at what we have. The features of the month is that the new moon solar eclipse. Hi, Katie. I'm sorry for the delay. Hello, Christina. Aho to you. We had some technical difficulties before, but I think we've gotten to the bottom of them. So I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, depending Mercury. I was just saying that, Katie. Yeah, you're so astute now. Yeah, we have the new moon solar eclipse. We had that on April 30th. And hi, Rita. Good to see you. We had the big solar eclipse in Taurus on April 30th. That was a very powerful eclipse. If you had a birthday at the end of April or at the beginning of May, you would be affected more by it. What is an eclipse? Eclipse is either solar or lunar. It's when something is either eclipsed out of your life or eclipsed into your life. So it would be like a new beginnings. Hi, Brett. Aho. Glad you could make it. We had some technical difficulties before, but it looks like we're entering into our Mercury retrograde with a bang. So anyway, that solar eclipse again was in Taurus, and so that would have something to do. Hi, Eileen. How are you tonight? Good you could make it. All right. So on the 30th, we had the big moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So if you had a birthday between April to May, just a couple weeks ago, you would be more affected by that than anyone else. So the next big lunar eclipse is going to be on May 15th. That's a full moon lunar eclipse. And that's going to be in Scorpio. So if you have a birthday between the end of October and into November, you're going to be a little affected more. And it would, again, have something to do with work. So this eclipse on the 30th had more to do with taking something out of your home or bringing something into your home or family. So the next eclipse on the 15th will have more to do with your career, taking something in or out of your career. And the effect is up to 6 months. So it's going to be, a very powerful time in the next 6 months. Mercury's going to go retro on May 10th. We all know what that means. I just experienced it myself a couple minutes ago. It's when technological things get kind of blown out and you experience frustrations in communication and also writing, anything to do with communication, scheduling at the airport. Your schedules may be all messed up. So that's going to go until from May 10th to June 3rd. If you want the dates, and that's going to affect everybody, but always the Virgos and the Geminis are a little bit more affected than every other sign. And Jupiter, Mars, and Venus goes into Aries Aries opposes Libra. So if you are an Arian, if you're an Arian or you are a Librian, sorry, I'm trying to read at the same time, you're going to be affected by this. This is a wonderful, wonderful transit of Jupiter and Mars and Venus. Venus is all about love and creativity. Mars is all about let's get up and let's go. It can have sexual overtones. And Venus is love, creativity, and money. Okay, is anybody else experiencing any technical difficulties? Because I think Kathy might be. At any rate, let's get into the forecast. I'm going to open the circle. Out with any negativity. In with positivity. Yes. So we're full of love and light in this group. It's a safe place. And that's what we can expect. All right. So let's get into Capricorn. If you don't want to sit through the other horoscopes, you can come back in about 25 minutes. I should be at Cancer by then. But the host depends how fast I'm talking. I hope that you're not experiencing difficulty. I'm sorry about that, Kathy. Okay, let's start with the Capricorns. I always start with Capricorns, and then we end with Sagittarius. All right, the new moon for Capricorns this month is going to be on April 30th. It already happened, and it affected you Capricorns in the 5th house. That's love, romance, children. Maybe you heard of a baby being born. It affects sports and recreation, and all kinds of recreational sports, things like that. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you made it. I was having serious problems in the beginning, but we all were just saying that, that's expected with that Mercury retro coming in a few days from now, actually this week. So that will be until the 10th of June. All right. So Kathy, your solar eclipse hit you in the 5th house of recreation and love and romance. And you're going to have a full moon eclipse. And eclipses are something is taken out of your life in order to make your life better. Or it can be that something is put in your life to make it better. So you might lose something to gain something. You might lose a job to gain a better one, for example. And it will be activated for the next 6 months. So, all right. So that full moon is going to be in Scorpio. That's going to affect your 6th house of everyday happenings. But I think that in the last conversations we've had, you've already had a lot of different happenings, unexpected happenings in your average life. 6th house is career, but if you're retired, it would be, hi Martha, it would be, your everyday occurrence in your life. So that will be affected. Also, the sun now is in Taurus for everybody. Taurus is a very stable sign. We just had Aries, which is let's go, let's move it, let's do something here. And then, Taurus is a little softer because Aries is ruled by Mars, and Taurus is ruled by Venus, and that's a lot more softer. Taurus is a little bit more stable because it's an earth sign, and it's going to affect you. I don't know if we have any other Capricorns right now, but it's going to affect you, Kathy, in your 5th house, Taurus. So that could be, maybe you invite some children over to your home, or maybe you hear from the family, or maybe you're putting your focus more on the home, fixing it up, making it nice for you and your honey. Fifth house is love and romance, remember, and again, it has to do with happy pastimes. And also, Mercury goes retro. We were talking about that on May 10th. That's when all the havoc with communications happen, but it doesn't have to. If you know about it, you can prepare. You know, if you don't have a firewall on your computer, you might want to get one. You know, you can always prepare for these changes. So Jupiter is going into Aries. Jupiter will go into Aries, and Jupiter will go this week. It's going to go all till October 27th, and it will also be followed by Venus and Mars. Mars will be in there from May 24th to July 4th. So on July 4th, we'll say goodbye to Mars in Aries, and then Venus will be in there till 5/2 to the 24th of May. So that's such a lovely combination. And for the Capricorn, it's going to be in your 4th house, Kathy. I don't know if we have any other Capricorns here, but that's going to be in your 4th house. All right. The Aquarius... the Aquarian, you're ruled by Uranus. You've felt that Uranus very much because it went into Taurus about a year ago, right when the pandemic started, maybe 2 years ago, and it forced everybody to work in their home. So that was a big change that Uranus made for us. The solar eclipse new moon on April 30th already hit, and that is hitting in Taurus in your 4th house. That is all about the home. So your focus with the sun in Taurus and the solar eclipse new moon is making you really focus on family, home, real estate, maybe wanting to make your home look better, that kind of thing. So it will be in there. And a full moon eclipse can take up to 6 months for you to see or feel the effects. So something in your home or family will be either ousted or added, because that's what an eclipse means. It's eclipsing something out or possibly in. It can agitate energy or it can propel energy. So that will the full moon will be in a lunar eclipse in Scorpio in your 10th house, Aquarian. And the 10th house is all about career. So it's it's about who you are, your reputation. So it could bring something in and exit something out in the next 6 months. It brings things up to a head. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It might even really affect the war in Ukraine. Hopefully we'll come to a heads-up situation where we can alleviate the war. So hopefully that's on the 15th of this month. Very, very powerful eclipses. And the energy is usually don't make any big plans or start any life decisions. Just stay where you are, do what you're doing, plan a change. If you want to go on a trip, let's say, but I would not go on the trip. I would plan the trip, but I would wait till these eclipses are over. They're just too powerful to activate something new. And they could be part of the plan that you have in your life. So you don't want to really do anything when it's called lunar eclipse season. So you don't really want to make any big changes in an eclipse season. Mercury goes into Gemini. Gemini is all very mental. It's about fun and games. And it will be in your 5th house of fun and games. So that kind of just really ties that up for you, Gemini. Aquarius, I'm sorry. in your fifth house of fun, games, children, romance, sports, recreation. It's all about that. If you're publishing a book, it would be it would not be publishing, I'm sorry, it would be writing a book. And if something then goes, it's accessing your 11th house. So that could be writing a book and then getting it published later in the year. So if you are working on a book, that would be very, very favorable to wait to get it published, and then it will be published at the end of this year. All right, and also in May, we have that Jupiter, Mars, Venus entrance into Aries. That's going to affect you, Aquarian, in your third house. Third house is marketing, your local perimeter, trips very locally. It's usually your what's happening in your locale, your natural locale. So it would be in like your neighborhood. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome, welcome. And it would, usually be in your general locale. All right. Pisces. We had a lot of things going on in Pisces this year, and it still is. Jupiter is still in Pisces, by the way. Have any of you recognized even more monetary wealth? Because that's what it was supposed to do for the world. It's still in there, and it will be in there till the end of May. So then it enters into Aries. And we will, especially the Sagittarius, Jen, y'all really feel this. The Sagittarius will really feel that shift around the 15th of that full moon. And we already had the lunar moon. So that's all about Jupiter when it goes into Aries. All right, so Pisces rising, you're ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is still in Pisces. It's very strong and powerful when a planet is in the same sign as your ruler. So you've had that going on for many years. You have about 3 more years of it, and then it will leave Pisces and go into Aries. So these planets are always moving. They're always changing the chapters. And they only stop producing in our lives when we finally make our transition. All right, so that April 30th new moon solar eclipse was in your third house, Pisces, and it affected, I know we have Katie is a Pisces, and Bev usually comes in. Hi, Katya. Hi. Well, it's for angels, Katya. You're one. So, I just did Capricorn. Darn, Katya. I guess you'll have to do the playback because I just finished up with Capricorn. But thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. So more for Katie. And I don't see Bev here yet. I say yet. You know how Bev is. And lunar full moon eclipse, it's going to happen on the 15th for everybody. That's going to be in effect for the next year. And eclipses take away and they give back. Thank you, Katya. Well, we enjoyed your presence. If you can come back, okay? Love you too. All right. The Mercury will go into Gemini on the 1st. So it already has gone into Gemini. Gemini is very heady, and it's the natural ruler of Gemini. So it's very, very powerful. I don't know if we have Geminis here in the group, but I know Kathy's husband is a Gemini, Phil. So what will happen is that Mercury retro will affect Phil a little bit more than everybody else with the technical and communications I don't want to say upsets, because like I say, if you know about it, you can be warned and, things can change. You can be on top of it. So that Mercury retro will be May 10th through the 3rd of June. And we know what that's all about. So 4 weeks of kind of maybe messed up schedules and things, but we know what to do with that, don't we? We just flow with the tide. You just flow with it. Now, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter will all go into Aries. Aries is about education, new beginnings. It can be selling, marketing, communications. So Venus and Mars, we already experienced that in Pisces this year. That's all about the intimate side of life. It can be love and romance, very sexy, very loving. And then with Jupiter coming in, that just enhances it all. So that's going to be really, really special for Arians and Librians, but for the whole kit and caboodle as well. All the zodiac signs will get a good boost with that. And we need these boosts, we really do. It's not to say that these lunar eclipses are easy. They can be very hard to get through. So, as long as you're warned about it, then you can be more positive, bringing in more positivity in your life, use mantras, and, you'll get through it. There's always a way to get through everything, especially thinking positive and thinking love. So, and then that Jupiter, by the way, is going to be in Aries until nearing the end of the year. It will be in there till October. And for the Pisces, it's all going to hit you in the second house of money. So that should be very good for you, Katie and Bev, if you're here. That should be really good for your economic welfare. And so, Katie, if you're buying or renting a house, that should help you out. It's going to be there. Remember that Jupiter in Aries, it's right now in Pisces, but in Aries till October. Then it's going to retrograde back into Pisces for a couple months. Then all next year it will be in Aries. So it's very nice for the Arians and also the Librians. All right. I know you need that help. We all need help, It's okay, but we're going to do it. We know we're going to do it. Yeah, we're always going to get through it. Well, we always can use help from the highest source, right? All right. Okay, Arians. So far, I think Brett is the Arian here. Aries, that's ruled by Mars. Mars is very tenacious. It likes to move, it likes to go, it sometimes can be impatient, but on the good hand of it, it gets stuff done. No dawdling with an Arian, unless they want to. So the new moon eclipse on the 30th hit the Arians in Taurus, that's home and family, in the second house. So if you were looking for money to buy a house or rent a house or make repairs, it would be a good time to do it. For the next 6 months, if you want to sell your house or rent it out or whatever, it would be a good time to do it, since you have you have that Arian Mars there. That just kicks it up, another notch. The sun's in Taurus. Again, Taurus is a very stable sign. The sun will be in Taurus until the 20th of this month, and then it goes into Gemini. So it's in your fourth house, Arians. Again, the sun in Taurus in the fourth could be very good with selling property, fixing property up, maybe getting money to do that. Working in the home, it would be very good for that. So those are just a few things that it's good for. Actually, the fourth house is family also, so it may be bringing some kind of economic new life within your family. Also, the fourth house is, to me, it's your life. It's how you stand in life. So economically, you may become more richer economically, wealthier, so that'll be good. The full moon lunar eclipse. Eclipses mean taking in and letting go of. You usually sometimes see if a person's sick on the new moon, you have an eclipse on the full moon, they may go to their transformation, or they may get better, because the full moon lunar eclipse is going to bring something to a head, something that the new moon brought in for you, and that was in Taurus, in the family and home, and the full moon is in Scorpio, so that actually is in the same axis to each other. So it would be a career, maybe working in the home, it changes, maybe you have to go back into a building. That is what I would think, and so that would culminate the whole last 2 years of the COVID experience. It could be very well that. Your Mercury will be in retro as early as May 10th to June 3rd, and it's going to be in Gemini. So it's going to retro in Gemini, and that is not going to do well with the Mercury retro. We already have Mercury retroing in Gemini also, so that kind of forebodes each other. It just kind of emphasizes for the Arians, it's going to be in your 8th house of that's what you owe other people. It could be the endings and new beginnings. It could be real estate. It could be psychic. It could be metaphysics. It could be anything in the spiritual arena, healing. So all that may be eclipsed and agitated, where you get more interested in these things, or it eclipses out of your life. So you'll know on the 15th of this month what it's going to affect. And that Mars, Venus, and Jupiter, all in Aries, oh my goodness, that is a power punch. So even though the Arians are going to feel it a little bit more than others, you all will feel it, but for the Arian, it's going to be in your 1st house of personal. So your personal life is going to be enhanced with Jupiter. The only thing I would say is don't be careful not to put on weight, because Jupiter is expansion, and that can expand the waistline. So just be a little careful there. But Mars and Venus is loving, very intimate, very sexy, very passionate, very driving. It could be a whole readjustment with how you make money, wanting to make more money. The Mars, it will be from May 10th to that's Jupiter 1027. Jupiter expands all that. So, wow, that's really going to be very, very good for really the whole world. But Arians are really going to feel that really nice upward span. All right, and take time with this Mercury retrograde and with the eclipses. I can't stress enough, just take time, be patient. Don't make any big moves in your life this month. Just allow the seasonal eclipses to do their thing, show you where it's needed. I had a lady that she wanted to go on a trip, and I was telling her last week, I wouldn't make any travel plans right now because, you know, what I'm telling you, you have the eclipses coming. When she goes and makes the travel plans, and then her friend backs out, so you know, she has to look for somebody else to go with, or she has to cancel. So that happened on Saturday when we had the lunar eclipse. So, you know, it's kind of just an example of what can happen. Her friend got kind of ousted out of the deal. So, losing my phone here. I'll make this adjustment. Of course, it's the Mercury retro. All right. Yes, Brett, love is. I agree. We all need a little bit more love now. Okay. Taurus and Taurus rising, a very steady sign. Very, very steady. You're ruled by Venus. Venus is going into Aries. So that will be very powerful for you in your 12th house. 12th house is endings and new beginnings. It's the shadow self. It's kind of being alone, or possibly doing things yourself. So that Venus, it could be that you meet someone new by yourself. You may be going on a walk and you meet somebody by yourself. So we have that, but the new moon on April 30th hit in Taurus in your first house of personal belongings. And I meant to say this to the Arians as well, that first house rules your persona, who you are, your personality. So the Taurians will get that, and also the sun in their first house of persona. And that's your body, taking better care of your body, doing maybe some new regimens to do that. Oh, good, Jennifer. Oh, well, Christopher, you can give her him all this information. Now, the sun will be in Taurus in your first house, Taurus, until the 20th, and then it moves right into Gemini. And Mercury will go into Gemini on 5/1 to 5/22, but it will retro on May 10th through June 3rd. So that retro is going to possibly change communications and change technological aspects of your life. But we don't want to put out in a bad way, just a different way, and you just have to learn to adjust to it. So like I'm trying to adjust my phone right now because it's not working too well. All right. So it will go, Mercury will go into that retro, and it's going to go retrograde in your second house. So that'll be good for the Taurus. That will be money and how you make money. You may be readjusting how you make money in communications. Perhaps you start marketing more in your job. So, yeah, me too, Katie. My favorite too. And that full moon on a lunar eclipse on the 15th will be in Scorpio in the 7th house of partnership, love, and marriage. So the Taurus in the next 6 months might be thinking about a partnership, whether it be business or marriage. To me, the 7th house usually is a marriage house, but it can certainly be a partnership, a business partnership too. And then your Jupiter, Venus, and Mars will go into Aries, and that for you will be in your 12th house of being alone, kind of doing things alone. That Venus, you could be making money by yourself, or you may be meeting somebody by yourself, taking a walk. So that'll be really, really good. And then that Jupiter is going to be in Aries in your 12th house too, expanding what you don't see. And that will be until October 27th. Then it will go back into Pisces and finish up what it was trying to do in Pisces. That'll be the resolve. And then all year next year, it will be in Aries. So that'll be in your 12th house all year, Taurus. All right, Gemini and Gemini rising. A lot is happening in Gemini this month. You're ruled by Mercury. So what happens? The Virgos and the Geminis are ruled by Mercury. So that's going to affect the Geminis and the Virgos a little more than usual. But yeah, so the sun will be in Taurus in their 12th house, Gemini. And then on the 20th, it'll move to your first house, and it will leave Taurus and go into your sign. So you're going to do more with personal affairs at the latter part of this month, but in the beginning of this month, you'll deal with the 12th house. It's meditation, things you do alone, endings and new beginnings. It's also how things end. So if we're ending a project at work, you'll see the finality of that. The new moon solar eclipse hit on April 30th, and that affected you in your 12th house of, again, being alone. So it eclipsed something out, or it eclipsed something into your life, and you'll certainly see it in the next 6 months. On the 15th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and Scorpio is all about career, and that is in your axis of career and home and family. So that's going to be affecting you, in your in the lunar eclipse on the 15th. So the Mercury, your ruler, remember that's going to affect you more with that Mercury retrograde. So that's going to affect you in that's your ruler planet. It's going to go into Gemini until May 22nd, but it will be retro until June 3rd. So a little bit of that will... Hi, Nicole. Just going to talk about Cancer. You came at the right time. Hi, buddy. Glad to see you. All right. So what I was saying about the lunar eclipse, of how it was affecting Gemini and Cancer, is that the lunar eclipse affected the Gemini in your 9th house. So the 9th house is all about publishing, writing, elongated trips, travel. And that Mars and Venus and Jupiter go into Aries. And for the Gemini, that's going to affect you in your 11th house. 11th is all about friends and family, and not family so much, but friendships, community, service, clandestine affairs. It can be the outcome of the 5th house. It can be the house of the mother or parents. And it can be charitable acts, acts of charity. Maybe you're working for a church or something. And that Venus will be in Aries until May 12th through May 24th. And then that Jupiter will be in Aries from May 10th to the 27th of October. And then it will go back into Pisces. All right. Okay. Nicole, we have this for you. You came in at the right time. Cancer, you know that your ruler is the moon. That makes you very psychic. Hi, Sai. Good to see you. Welcome. We haven't done Libra yet, Sai, so that's good. Nicole, you are very psychic anyway. You're very empathic, so you carry the traits of Cancer. Cancers can be emotional. Sometimes they can be moody, but they can be very, very psychic and very sensitive. So your sun is going to be in Taurus in the 11th house, and that new moon solar eclipse hit this Saturday on the 30th, and it hit in Taurus. So for you, that means 11th house in Taurus. That's working in the home with friends. It would also be charitable acts. Maybe you're getting into some kind of charitable situation. It's all about friends and travel. And because it's Taurus, Taurus is a very steady sign. It may have something to do with work. Maybe you'll be traveling to do some work with a friend. That's probably what it is. We have to always put these clues together, and usually we come out with the answer. Now on the 20th, it'll the sun will change into your sign. Right now it's in Taurus, but when it changes into Cancer, it will be in your 12th house of I want to be alone, or maybe getting things done that you have that is, alone. And again, I have to adjust this. Sorry about that. We're having Lots of technical difficulties. How many of you had technical difficulties since the solar eclipse? Because I've really had terrible internet problems. Have you had any? Anyway, Nicole, and I don't know if anybody else has a cancer. Yeah, Nicole, you probably did. Yes, Christina. Yeah, yeah, Jen. I found out that since Saturday with that very powerful eclipse that, I just have not been doing very well with computers. Internet drops right in a meeting. Yeah. Well, you're lucky, Rita. Martha, it looks like you concur. Okay, I'm sorry, Nicole. Mercury goes into Gemini from 5/1 to 5/22, and it will go retro. And it's going to go retro from May 10th to 6/3, and it's